first thing I am going to do is in the chat, I am going to paste 2 links for the presentation that I am about to share with you. There is one for the Century 21 side, and there is one for the Coldwell Banker side. So those are in the chat. And again, the reason I'm doing this is so that you don't have to worry about taking notes. You can just simply follow along through the process and then be able to have the PDF for your own use. Again, I learned by watching videos and reading all kinds of PDFs and such. So just sharing with you what I've gotten across. So here we go. We're going to jump right in. First thing I'm going to share is an important reminder. And I do share this with all seriousness because, again, you as an independent contractor, you're not required to do this, but I hope that you understand the value of it. And I hope, by the end of this class that you get some ideas and it becomes indispensable in your business. One of the greatest things that we've had come truly is the way this suite of tools works together. And as we get into February, I'm going to help you understand even more just how integrated MoxiPresent, MoxiEngage, and your website truly are. Because something you do over here, you actually can see it over there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that as I go through today. I do have the chat open. So if you have a question along the way, I have it in a spot where I should be able to see it and still take care of business, okay? So the next thing I'm going to come to, and again, that's just permission to use content. If you go to Google and you're looking to get some images, there is off to the right-hand side of that menu, you see a little thing that says tools. And again, you can click on it and you can select large, which I encourage because then you don't end up with just all the small little things that are pixelated. But you can also pick royalty-free or license not required so that you don't end up in any trouble. I do know of a few folks that Facebook's Autobot is tapped them on the shoulder and said, hey, do you really own this photograph? And the other side of that is on the C21 side, inside your brand studio, there's a lot of photography. There's a lot of social media content, and there's a lot of other things in there that you can use. And on the CB side, BrandServe has a lot of photographs and social media content as well. There's videos in there and just all kinds of stuff that you can share, folks. So don't ever get into that copyright thing. So welcome to MoxiPresent. If this is your first time, I hope you're thrilled as I am, because this is an awesome thing. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the steps of creating a seller presentation, and then I'm going to take us through the steps of doing a buyer tour. Okay, are we ready? So what are the business benefits? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to take a tour, and then what comes next. So MoxiPresent is simply a CMA, okay? And I'm not going to teach how to do a CMA. I leave that for the mentors. I leave that for the managers, other agents in your office, okay? Because otherwise that would take too long. There are a number of templates that are in here, and I'm going to talk about a little bit more about templates when we get to that point in the presentation. And again, data is pulled directly from the MLS. That's one of the coolest features of this because it's a live feed, meaning that if you were to send out a presentation to your client prior to you showing up for the appointment, and if there's any changes, such as one of the active properties went pending, your report automatically updates. Or if one of those pendings went sold, your report updates. Doesn't change anything, that any of the figures or anything else that you might have used. And of course, if you printed it, no, it didn't update your PDF. Okay, it's not that intuitive, but it does update everything that is available online. And then, of course, presentations that you can share. You can share this via text. You can share this via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. In fact, you could actually share it on your website so that you could give an example of what you do to ensure that your seller is going to get the best possible price in the shortest amount of time, because it's going to give you the ability to share some marketing ideas. Okay, so I hope you find value in that. Once you go through and you set up your template the way you want it, you don't have to do it again. All you got to do is come in and update the property information. Boom, baby, you're done. And you get to customize it. One of the things that I really hope that, and again, this applies to Moxie Engage, MoxiPresent in the website. Own it. You could personalize it so that this is a representation of you, and it's a very professional representation of you. You can make it as personal as you want and edit it just right down to the nth degree. Okay. Impress clients. I have yet to have a client that says, boy, that was the crappiest thing I ever saw. When we're looking at our value proposition and what separates us from the others, this is going to go a long ways. Okay. Digital. Again, it's online. It fits the phone. It fits the tablet. It'll fit the 80-inch screen. And again, the print benefits is as easy as clicking on view and it says web or print. Wow, how easy is that? I prefer to read the newspaper in print. I won't ask anybody to raise their hand, but I'm just saying, I like things in print. Again, I'm not going to talk about how to do the actual selection for the CMA. You're going to learn all kinds of things that you can do with the map, because again, the map's interactive. And know that when you send it to your client, it's also interactive. Okay. All the data fields are automatically populated with all the images and all the verbiage and everything else that's available on the MLS. It's done automatically. And of course, pricing adjustments, you have a little bit of control over those. Okay. So let's take a tour. MoxiPresent Access. Well, that's the first thing. If you've not done it, well, before I get there, let me make sure I say this. Dash talks to MoxiWorks. It is imperative that my name is Robert, but I prefer to go by Bob. Okay. If it says Robert in Dash, it's going to say Robert on MoxiWorks. But if Dash says Bob, then I get to be Bob. Okay. Phone number needs to be correct. Your email address needs to be correct. Your website address needs to be correct. License number is not required in the state of Michigan. Your social media links, if you want those to be a part of your presentation, and this is what, again, it becomes a part of your website when you put in your media links. It also becomes a part of some of the presentations that you're able to create as you go along. So do a bio, make sure your image is updated. In other words, it looks like you, not back when you were in high school, but actual, what you look like today. And all those things give to your admin. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Go backwards. There we go. Hit the wrong button. So access MoxiPresent from 21 Online. Again, you go to 21 Online, you click on the hamburger over there if you're not using favorites, and then scroll down about 3/4 of the way. It doesn't matter which Moxie product you click on, because when you click on it, you're going to go to the dashboard, which will give you access to all of them. I love that feature. If you're on the CB side, you're going to go to the desk, and then you're going to click on MoxiWorks, and off you go. So here we are. We're in the beginning of Moxie. That little pencil up there is very important because this allows you to come in and edit your presentation. And what is nice about that is, let's say that you're in the middle of putting together a listing presentation and your phone rings and you're yada, 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 yada. 40 minutes later, you realize, oh man, I got to get back to this. You didn't have to hit save because wherever you left off, that's where you can pick up. And if you closed out because you went to go do something else, that's okay. Because again, you click on that pencil and you get to walk through the steps and finish whatever it was that you didn't get done. The details, in other words, what's the criteria? What's this report all about? That's what details are. The action menu, I'm actually going to show you that in the next slide. So I'm just going to skip over. And of course, you know, if you want to just open it up so that you can see it. In other words, you're sitting there at the client's table, at the kitchen table, and you don't already have the presentation opened up. Then all you got to do is jump in here, click on it, and it automatically will go into web version for you. Here is what those three little dots will bring up. Again, you can share it, you can email it, you can do change the settings on it, you can duplicate it. In other words, remember I told you if you got that perfect template and you just want to keep using it over and over and just change the property information, that's the quickest way to do it. You can archive it. You can create a quick flyer, which actually, again, you can go out, it'll go out to the MLS, grab whatever images you select, and boom. If you're part of a team, you can add a co-presenter. Oh my goodness gracious, it's all great stuff. All right, so here we are. We're at the demo seller presentation. Now, we all have a sample presentation. And you might say, well, yeah, but I looked at it and there really wasn't much information there. That's why we call it a sample. I'm not saying it's a good example. I'm just saying it's a sample because that's what they gave us. All right. So once you click on it, again, we're clicking on it to start it. You're going to see this screen, or you're going to see this screen. Because, and what's funny is this is where people get impatient because they click on it and it's like it didn't go anywhere. And then about 10 seconds in, then the little circle will show up. But there's always that momentary pause. And the reason is because, again, it's connected to the MLS to make sure that the information is the most up-to-date and accurate as it can possibly be. So this is what your cover page looks like. Pretty nice. I'm thinking about using this guy's image because I mean, he looks a whole lot better than the mug that I'm using. I'm just saying. Nice presentation. Looks very professional, right? This is what the cover photo looks like. And it's actually the cover page. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. All right. You can actually, where my mind was going is you have the ability to edit the content and how it shows, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Property information. Again, this is an example of what is a part of the presentation once you create it. Now, one of the things I want you to notice right off the bat, I'm going to go back a page and you notice San Francisco, California got a capital C, got a capital A. And then when we come to the page, California is not capitalized anymore. This is, I point this out from the standpoint of one, none of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but don't let it define who you are. Okay. The other side of it is hopefully, ideally, you're going to review anything and everything before you actually send it out to a client. Look for the little things, the oversights. I used to be an editor for a off-road magazine, so I pick up errors easily. My kids would tell you I pick up errors because, no, that's another story for another time. So, listing location map. again, the map is interactive. They can actually move it around. They can move it up. They can move it down. They can close in, close out. They can go from this view to the satellite view where all the trees and everything else come into play. When they click on that comparable number one, all the images that are available for that property show up. Now, how cool is that? Again, you're sitting down there with Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and it's like, hey, so what do you think? Do you think your house looks the same as, worse than, about the same? Because again, this is going to help you walk them into the price that you know the house will sell for in the shortest amount of time. All right. So this is the next one, listing overview, and this is all about curb appeal. What does the house look like from a curb appeal standpoint? This one, side-by-side comparisons, is kind of the way the appraiser's report looks. Okay. Now I'm looking at 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Next one kind of simplifies what we just looked at because it's all inclusive as far as all the comparables, the pendings, and the solds are on one page, assuming that you don't have 45 or whatever. If you have more than 9, we need to rethink that process a little bit. Okay. Home averages, again, listing averages, all it's doing is taking the data based on your selections and presenting it out. Okay. Now this is what's called a Pareto chart. And there's a lot of people that have difficulty understanding what it says. First off, the red dots are sold, the gold dots are pending, and the green is active. All this chart is telling you is that the price goes up as the square footage goes up. That's all it's telling you. And all you have to do to know that is look at the trend line. Where's the trend line taking you? Well, it starts at the price over here. And as I see the square footage on the bottom, it goes up. We all know that, right? Now here's one that reads the other way. Again, red are still sold, gold is still pending, green is still active. But now what it's showing you is that it's going down. Okay, I'm sorry. This was days on market. Price goes up. That's weird because that's not what's at the bottom. That's square footage at the bottom. That's funny. I just caught that. I did not see that before. Because we know that nothing's been on the market for 1,000 or 1,500 days. Wow, I did not see that in the last class. That's hilarious. Wow. All I can say is I got all this stuff from the brand, so it's just blowing my mind. Anyways, I'm sorry, I digress. This chart still is going to be the same thing, even though across the bottom it's wrong, where those should be 30, 60, 90 days type of thing. The trend line is still correct. Same way with this one. Again, price goes down based on square footage. Most of us would disagree with that. Pricing stats. You get a little bit of information because there's a range indoor. You get all of this. It really comes down to what you edit or allow to come in. And again, that California is still small. Your bio that you gave to the admin, right here it is. Your website is there. Again, if you don't update your website and you don't update your bio and you don't update your image with your admin, you still got your high school graduation picture probably. I know a few of us are guilty of that. My presentations, okay? And again, it starts as simply as create new. Pretty self-identifying, right? So we're going to select seller. And then we're going to click on the continue button. And by default, it comes to the brokerage templates, okay? And by default, right now, the button, you see where default seller is, and it's highlighted. Well, down below that are 3 additional presentations. There is the old marketing presentation that if you've used the product at all during 2022, it was there for you. But we also updated just before the end of the year with a new marketing presentation, which we didn't take the old one away. We just updated and refreshed all the pages based on the available marketing images within the brands. Okay. In addition, we also added a fine homes and estates and a global luxury selections. We added that so because when you're in the MoxiPresent, you have a choice of classic or luxury. Now it actually has a classic and a luxury. Up until we did the fine homes and the global, you click on luxury and it didn't look any different. Now it does. But the other thing is important. If you're going to use the old marketing plan, then you start with a default seller. Because you're going to do the default seller, which is the CMA pages only, and then you're going to add all the other pages. If you select either one of the new marketing plans, the default seller is automatically put into it. So instead of creating your 12 pages and then going and adding, all the marketing pages are already included. So I hope you find that beneficial and useful. It was done to try to simplify things for you, and appreciate any feedback you can offer. As we continue on, you got to give it a name, and you have to also select your MLS. Some of you have more than one MLS, and so this could come into play. Some of you are going to get to this point and it's not going to be there. Well, that gets put in Dash. And remember, any additions or changes in Dash, if we make it today, you don't get to see it till tomorrow. So if it's 11 o'clock on Sunday night and you need the presentation for 9 tomorrow morning, it ain't going to happen, folks. Hopefully you've come in and know that you're already connected with your MLS. Then you're going to come to the subject property page. If it's ever been on the MLS before, where it says copy data from MLS, you just paste the number in there, hit the copy, and it'll download everything, including the street view image. And it'll put it over there where Picasso's painting is currently. You can also upload any photograph that you wanted to put in there. You can add or edit any of the subject property information. Make it as complete as you want or as incomplete as you want, because again, it's all personal, right? So again, went out to the MLS, grabbed that image, throws it in there, and starts to populate the process. Okay. Again, how much detail do you need? Down there at the remarks there at the bottom of the screen, this home is a highly desired area. Remember, it's going to take everything that's available on the MLS. You may want to edit that. You may want to put together a little bit of your own. What would your remarks be? I love the agents that take the time when they put images in that actually identify, well, this is the master bedroom. Well, this is the second bedroom. This is the third. I love those agents. Oh, anyways, as we continue on, automatically, when you go to the bottom of the subject property page and on the right-hand side, you click continue, it's going to bring you here. And automatically, it's going to have the sort based on distance. So you see, you got a pending, you got a sold, you got a pending. And again, this is all based on distance right now. Now, in filters, what it will do, it will automatically input a minimum and a maximum for square footage. Now you can go into filters and edit that, or you can leave it as is, okay? But know that automatically it doesn't look at bedrooms and bathrooms. All it does is it gives you a border high and low for square footage by default. Then you're going to come and you're going to draw indoor. You may want to make a circle, okay? Just like you can on the MLS. And that's what's, again, it works just as easy, just as good. If you are into polygons or, whatever it may be, just you go do it. Be merry. All right. So how do I go about selecting the ones I want to be included in my CMA? All you have to do is click on the image and it will go from a plus to see that green check mark. And if you want to get more specific details about a particular property, that's what that right there, smack dab in the middle, that details. So when you click on details, it's going to bring up the rest of the information that's available on the MLS. Okay, it's going to show you the living room, central gas. It's going to show percentage of list price, 130%. Oh man, that's pretty good. I like to do that. Sold, as a sold date up there. Again, gives you all the details if you want more of the details. At the top, what is circled now is the number of selections that you've made over on the left-hand side. You have 9 listings, okay? And again, what I want to point out over by the map, just below the word filters, and again, when I'm talking about the map, I'm looking at where it says schools, draw, and radius. It changed to status. By default, it starts with distance. And what they didn't show you is that they clicked on that down arrow and they changed to status so that it's sorted by actives, sold, and pending. And again, note that the reason you see pending then you see sold is because they didn't select that pending. Okay, because what it's going to do is it's going to save whatever you've selected so that when you hit the next page, it automatically gives it to you in the fashion. Now, order by, it says price high to low. That's about in the middle. Okay, if you can see where listing summary is on the box, look just to the left and it says order by price high to low. Some folks like that. Some folks want it done by status. So you click on the down arrow and you can click by status. Again, if I look further to the left, I see that they selected 2 active, 1 pending, and 2 sold. So let's say that I like the high to low, but that little plus sign right there, if I click that, I get a second sort feature. I can, again, if I like the status, maybe I choose status for the first one, and then for the second one, I do high to low. Or maybe I prefer days on market. Whatever your choice is, it's all yours. Cool. Make it your own. Come on. So you know about a listing that's not available. So, but I want that information. You can add a custom listing. Now, where would that come into play? How about that FSBO? Maybe you're putting together a CMA or a presentation because you're going to go knock on that FSBO's door and say, hey, I can sell your home and I can market your home better than you even thought of. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. The nice thing is, when you click on the add custom listing, it'll take you to a subject property page, just like we started with. And you can put as much information that you can find that's publicly available and fill it out as complete or incomplete as you want. Okay. If it was ever on the MLS prior to the FSBO thinking they could sell it, again, you can download all that information. Why do you think you can sell it with this for $200,000 when you just bought it for 6 months ago for less? Anyway, add adjustments. Again, adjustment could be, well, maybe this one's got a pool, or this one's got a 4-car garage or 6-car garage or whatever. So you want to make some adjustments. Maybe this one's been burned out or whatever. I don't, whatever floats your boat. Okay. Don't play being an appraiser. Just, you decide that this property doesn't fit. For whatever reason, you don't want to include it anymore. All you got to do is click on that X and it's gone. If you want to go back and pick some other ones, absolutely go for it. Estimate. So when estimate is automatic by default, it'll put together everything so that this is what you're looking at. If you don't like the fact that it says estimated market value, because that's going to show up on that one page, you want to create a range, by all means do that. Perhaps you have a property where it's a condo, but you weren't able to find a lot of condos to do a good CMA. You could enter remarks where due to the lack of inventory for condos, it was necessary to identify similar or comparable residential homes, whatever you want. Over there on the side where it says listing summary, again, it does a the low, the average, and high for actives, for pendings, for solds. Active to me is the dream. Pending is what is today's market, and sold is an example of what the market was. And sometimes those things relate and sometimes they don't. Now, one of the things that most people omit or fail to see is in that red rectangle, it says estimated pricing. And then it says estimated net proceeds. That is a tab that is there that a lot of agents just, they don't see it. If you click on once you do whatever you're going to do on this page and you click on estimated net proceeds, it's going to bring you to this page. Now, here's my 2 cents on doing an estimated net proceeds. If you wanted to do you can do multiple estimated net proceeds, okay? So if you wanted to do one above market price, one below, and one at, absolutely, go for it. But here's what's more important, and this is what I want you to remember. Whether you use this page or not, what I hope you do know, or you are able to do, if a seller were to tell you, well, I need to make at least this much money. If I want you to have the ability to say, well, then this is what we need to sell it for. This will guarantee that you're going to get that. If you sell it for this price, I can guarantee that you're going to get the money you need. Can you do that? Because if you can't do that, then I encourage you to reach out to your mentor, out to your manager and say, hey, they told me that they got to make $150,000 on this property. Again, you don't care what the reasons are. You just know that they want to make $150,000. So what do I have to sell the house for? If you don't know how to do it, reach out to your manager or your mentor. Okay. You're all done, literally. Presentation is done. There it is. And again, you have the ability to come in and edit this information. You see where it says cover page, and I got the arrow, then I got the pencil, and I got the X. The pencil means I can edit what is on this page. And I'm talking about the text features and what's shown. If I don't want the page at all, I just click on the X and it's gone. The next thing we're going to do is I want to take the agent profile and I want to move it up. Because you know what? I want them to know more about me before we really get into the issue of the homes. So all I got to do is left click and drag it, and there it is. Left click and drag it. Once I go back to the home, there it is. Remember, all I got to do is click on that pencil if I want to do more. So that's about the seller. So let's jump into doing a buyer tour. Okay. Now, I know a lot of you are using showing time, and I got nothing against that. Okay. If you're comfortable with that, shoot, go for it. But if you don't have any kind of a real plan for buyer tour, just take a look, see what's available here. Okay. So we're going to select buyer tour. We're going to hit continue. Again, we're going to choose the default that's available. If you wanted to use marketing materials, you could do that, but I don't know the relevancy when we're talking about buyers. So we're going to take, I'm going to suggest take the default and then hit continue, give it a name, and begin the search. Again, that Intrex drive time optional. You can actually put in your client's address, whether they're coming from their home or from their work, and you can do drive times going from one listing to another. Pretty cool. I love it. Again, begin your search with regard to what are we going to go take a look at? Okay. And so here we are. Now, what's important to note here is that, again, you have the ability to zoom in or come out or do whatever it is that you want to do with this image. And just like in the seller presentation, you also have the ability to draw or to create a radius on the map. And of course, once you create, whether you draw the box, the polygon or whatever, or a radius, you click on run search. And again, back here, we had 96 listings. Okay. And then I did the search. Now I got 40. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, here we go. Come in and refine your tour of what you might possibly want to show your client by establishing a minimum and or a maximum price. Come in and establish how many beds or baths. Again, if they're looking for 3-bedroom, then put in 3-bedroom as a minimum, but don't put in a maximum. So if something that's got 4 or 5 bedrooms still is in their price range, you can still go take a look at it. Okay. Filters. Again, automatically the square footage is going to be put in based on the public information. You can also select new construction, whether or not it's got a garage, single family. Over there on the left-hand side, are you interested in, why would I have pendings? I understand having off market. I understand that some of those others might be advantageous, but if I include other or canceled or sale fail or expired, if I include all those in my buyer tour, I got to reach out to somebody before I just show up, right? I mean, how do I create a buyer tour if I don't even know they're available? And I point this out is because if you're going to select them, make sure you realize you got to do a little bit of work ahead of time. And of course, down there at the very bottom, which is kind of hard to see, changed in the last 90 days. You can change that. Sold the last 6 months above. You can change that. Time on MLS. You can change that. When you've done selecting all your filters, you click on apply. Select. Get that. Could you try again? Select just like you did on the seller side. Just click on the images that you want to include, and it draws you a map. And of course, you notice right now we're looking at the map, and it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, that's not following the order. I'm going to be retracing my steps. So all you got to do is click on change order. And when you click on change order, you decide how you want that order to be. And you just drag them up and put them in order so that now you go from 1, 2, 3, 4. And you don't backtrack this way or that. I love the dry time feature because, again, it helps identify, okay, I need X amount of time, then I'm going to do X amount of time on the property. So when I start doing my appointment request, I got an idea of what I'm doing. That's why I like this. Number of pages I got is 9. And I'm done. Again, it's going to look exactly like the seller presentation. But what is nice about this is, again, just like with that, we can add a page, create new, build a page. And again, this is some of what we're going to be talking about come February, folks. How do we build and create personalized pages to include in MoxiPresent that help me promote my value proposition? This step is going to show you how to include a quick YouTube video, because it works differently in MoxiPresent than it does on your website. On your website, when you include a video and you click on share, you're going to click on the embed and copy. But when you do it in MoxiPresent, you only need the URL. And that's the only reason I show this, because I'm hoping that some of you are adventurous enough that you're going to try this. So again, embed on the website, but just copy the URL if you're doing it in MoxiPresent. And all you got to do is paste that in there, click add, and your video is automatically included. Easy peasy. Now, here's one of the nice things is, again, maybe you found a video that was talking about the parks or this community or whatever, and you wanted to share it with them. Maybe you're dealing with a relo and they don't know diddly squat about the area. So you go out and do your own little video of things to do in the area, restaurants or whatever, or you find something on YouTube, you know. Maybe you just want to simply say, hey, I hope you're as excited as I am to look at these homes this evening, whatever you want. Okay. Again, once you've done it, you're going to give it a name, and then you're going to description if you want. Description is not required, name is. But once you give it a name, you're going to save it. And when you save it, it will always be in your library. And right on the front page, right next to create new, it says my library. All the custom pages that you create are going to be available each and every time. Okay. Again, here's an example of C21. Once you're done with it, you got it saved, you're going to click on the X and you're going to be out. Okay. And again, living in Pacific Heights. That's basically what I was trying to get across, was you might want to do something to help promote the area. But under that add a page, if you click on add from library, that's where you'll select from your library. You can select from the brokerage, and or you can also select from what the brand has to offer. Those three little dots, remember we talked about those earlier? Okay. Again, you've done the buyer tour, you're going to email it out to them, right? You're going to, and it brings this up. You can send a PDF to them too, but it's a buyer tour. So let's not do that now. Let's just send them the web version. And this is what it's going to look like on their phone. And the nice thing about this is, okay, so you're looking at the house right now, and they can actually pull it up and get whatever informations or details they want. They can also get directions, but this is what it looks like on their map, on their phone. Remember I told you it fits? This is so awesome. I don't care if you got a Samsung or iPhone. Of course, if you got a flip phone, now we got a problem. But look at all this information, folks. They can actually make comments, and it comes back to you. Remember I talked about integration? If they're looking at this presentation, again, whether it's a listing presentation or a buyer tour presentation or any other presentation that you created with MoxiPresent and Moxie Engage, you're going to know that they're looked at it in your activity feed, which is on your dashboard. Again, we're going to talk about that soon. They can add a review. In other words, I really like this, or I really didn't, whatever. Listing overview. Again, this is that curve feeler thing. One review. Remember, as they update, guess what? It updates yours as well. So when they create a review, you actually have that review that they made. That helps you do more to service what their needs and desires are. Okay. Down there at the bottom in the right-hand corner is the help button. If you're ever stuck and it's Monday through Friday, you can type something in there and it will give you a couple ideas. If those ideas don't fit, it'll give you an option to actually chat with somebody live. Okay. Not so much on Saturday and Sunday. They don't work those days. So this is what other agents are saying. Very professional, flexibility, yada, yada, yada. I find this makes me look better. It's a game changer. I agree with all those sentiments. This is just a very useful and powerful thing. What I find very important is agents and teams who have used this across the board in 2021. Again, the numbers aren't in yet for 2022, but 25 grand more, earn 1.25 more, 1.2 times more buy. I mean, is there any of us that wouldn't want to make another 25 grand? Any of us that don't want to do a couple more sides? Just saying. So that's it, folks. Again, remember that the presentation that I shared for you is available in the chat. And if you don't know it, when you click on the chat, which is down at the bottom of your screen, it's in between where it says participants and you see a green thing that says share screen. But when you click on the chat, it comes up on the bottom right-hand side are 3 little dots. And those 3 little dots, when you click on it, it gives you the ability to save the chat. So let's say that you're a little bit too busy right now to click on that and download that file. Well, save the chat. And then when you have time, then you could click on the link and go ahead and save it. What's your questions? What can I do for you? We got a couple minutes. Anything.
Hey Bob, if somebody wants to get a little more deeper dive with you, they got to set an appointment. Is that correct? Through your online link? Okay.
Yes. Again, beginning in February, we're going to be taking deeper dives automatically across the board. But also, if you need a little bit more encouragement or coaching, at the bottom of the email that you received today is a schedule one-on-one with me. And when you click on that, you'll be able to select from the times and the dates available, 50-minute session that we'll do via Zoom. It is designed that I have the ability to meet with 40 agents each and every month is the way the whole package has been put together. Okay. And 40 agents is more than I was able to do when I was actually going office to office to office. So hopefully I can do more to service you. And again, whatever level you are, I'm willing to learn from you too. I don't pretend to have all the answers, folks, but I've stumbled and bumbled many times. There is more information. I don't care if we're talking about CBU, and I don't care if we're talking about C21 University, folks. There's all kinds of additional information, self-paced, literally everything that I'm sharing with you, I got from C21 University and or CBU. Okay. I didn't create this information. I only downloaded it and I'm sharing it with you. Okay. So, everything I do is available. I'm just trying to make it as easy as I can, for you to be able to grasp this is just so cool. What can I tell you? And it does give you the ability to, if you click on the hamburger when you're in C21 University, you can click on learning library and you can do a search in it as well. And again, it works the same on both. Okay? Any other questions?
Bob, this is Jerome Maben, Century 21 Town and Country. How are you
Yes.
today? Happy
I'm
New Year.
outstanding. How about you?
I'm doing great. Great to see you. And I just wanted to say to you that we appreciate all that you do for us. The fact that you're committed to helping us be better at what we do is much appreciated. And I thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. Appreciate that. I call it job security, but folks, I want to see you prosper. I want your business to grow. And, that's why I do what I do. I love doing what I'm doing. So if I got no other questions, folks, I'm going to give you like 9 minutes back today.
Well, for the benefit of the group, Bob, I'll just say this. I found that I'm still learning this particular part of Moxie more so than the other parts. And you can't learn it unless you get in and play with it. And that's the key is, you have a little bit of information, but you really got to go in and you can't break it. You just got to go play with it just like I do. And Bob's played with it a lot, I think. But in February, we're going to actually get into more than a slideshow, actually doing it. Or
Yes. Yes. Yep.
I think that's important for everybody that is new to MoxiPresent to know there's more to come.
Yeah, in February is designed to be more interactive. In other words, whatever you can dream of or whatever you thought about doing, then I'll go through the steps and we'll do it. Okay. And again, since I record this everything, it will be available for you to, the way I learned, I watched the video, stopped it, I did it. I watched a little bit more, I did it, back and forth. Whatever I can do to help you, that's what I'm here for.
So, Bob, I just want to, I'm sorry, this is Ursula from Century 21 Town and Country, clarify something with you. You said that when you use the duplicate feature, it's only supposed to duplicate the custom pages and not the entire presentation?
No, if you hit duplicate, it duplicates the entire presentation.
Okay.
So then when you go you click on the pencil to edit the duplicate.
Right.
You will end up having to give it a new name. You'll end up changing when you come to the subject property page, you'll update that with the new property information. And then the first thing that you have to do once you do all the subject property information and you click on continue, the first thing you would do then is you would remove all of your properties that you had selected for the previous. Because what it literally does, it duplicates everything. So you have to click on the boxes to get rid of those prior listings information. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, because I believe I used that feature before and that's what happened. So I wanted to clarify because I thought you said it only duplicated the custom pages. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not what happened when I did that before. I had to go in and manually change everything around. So.
Yes.
Okay. And then also to clarify, I believe last year when I used this feature, the default presentation was something like, I don't know, some tens of pages, maybe 50 or 60, with all of the Century 21 marketing content talking about the brand. So now you're saying that the default presentation is the 12 pages that just includes the CMA. And then if we want, we can use the larger presentation with all of the additional marketing data.
Yes. And to clarify, if you use the former marketing plan, it only includes marketing information.
Right.
So you'll have to use the default seller. If you use either one of the new ones, and you can tell the new ones because they'll show up as a white page.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll have a white page, then I forget exactly how the old one looks. But what I did when I created those is I included the default seller in there so that you had all the marketing material and you had all the ability to make the CMA. Because it's easier to remove a page than have this. I took the issue of you having to go and select which ones you wanted,
Right.
where you had to review them. Now you can view them all and get rid of them as you want to.
Okay. Okay. I know some people who I given that presentation to were just a little overwhelmed by all the marketing content before they got to the part they really wanted to see. So it's nice to be able to break it out and provide either option to the client.
Well, and again, the way it's designed is the CMI information will always be first unless you drag and move the image, the marketing material somewhere else.
Okay.
And that was one of the stumbling blocks as you're sitting there talking about. One of the stumbling blocks is when people wanted to add some of the marketing information, when they added it, it wasn't where they wanted it. And they
Right.
forgot how to change the order of the pitch of the page.
Uh-huh.
So purposely, the CMA pages come first and all the marketing material after that. You can drag them and place them wherever you want, but if you forget to, they're at least in the right order.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Bob.
Yep. Anybody else? All right. 3 minutes to spare. Go talk to people.
Thanks,
All right.
Bob.
Thank you. Have a great one.